Okay. Can I swipe to get us back to the screen you were on? Side slide, this. Yes. Oh, where is your Zoom? Oh, sorry, if you click the Zoom. There we go. All right.
All right, so welcome. We're going to have a brief 5 precepts. I think everyone here is on. So this is we have the do you have the page there for the precepts? Yeah, know the number right offhand.
72.
72. Could you scroll down for the
To what?
the request?
That is the request.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So is anybody happy to request the precepts? You could do it in English if you wish.
Okay. You want the English or the Pali? I'm just gonna try the Pali.
Okay.
Sadhu.
Maya Tisarena Saha Pancha Silana Yachama Dutiyampi Mayam Aye Tisaranaya Saha Pancha Silana Yachama Tatyam P Mayam Aye Tisarena Saha Pancha Silani Yachama.
Sadhu. Okay, I can see. So, we'll do the Namo Tassa. I'll say it 3 times and then repeat after me 3 times. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Arigato sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. And 3 refuges. I will do it line by line and repeat each line. Bhutang saranang gacchami. Saranang gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi Bhutang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi
Saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Bhutang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana Niti Tang. This completes the taking of the 3 refuges. Sadhu.
Sadhu.
So for the 5 precepts, I'll say it in Pali, and then you repeat the Pali and just read the English, so it lands. Anatipata Veramani Sika Padang Samadhyami.
Sika Padang Samadhyami. I undertake the precepts to refrain from taking the life of any living creature.
Adina Dana Veramani Sika Padang Samadhyami.
Sika Padang Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is succulent.
Kami Sumicha Chara Veramani Sika Padang Samadhyami.
Sika Padang Samadhyami. And we take the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct.
Musawata Veramani Sika Padang Samadhyami.
Musawada Harmony, Sika Padang Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from false and harmful speech.
Sura Meraya Majapamandatana Veramani Sika Padang Samadhyami.
Sura Sika Padang Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness.
This completes the 5 precepts. Imani Sika Padani Silena Sukatim Yanti Silena Boga Sampada Silena Nibuktim Yanti Tasma Silang Visodaye. These are the precepts for training. Virtue is the source of happiness. Virtue is the source of true wealth. Virtue is the source of peacefulness. Therefore, let virtue be purified.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So this is certainly an opportunity for rejoicing. So people coming together with like mind. And these 5 precepts are a training in harmlessness. And this is so important in this world. And this is a first, or one of the steps, or one of the aspects of purifying the mind. We were talking earlier how the mind is very powerful. And if we set our mind or intention to do something good or evil in the world, and we can see how that intention to harm, that can be put into action and to really be very destructive. And likewise, that wish to purify the mind and do good in the world is so important. So today, I'm just going to keep it brief because we're going to do some visioning about the future. And this is part of what we do with our mind, is we set an intention, or we create with our minds. Everything that, like this cup, for instance, someone had an idea to make a mold, and this came from generations of people working with the soil and finding the proper kind of soil that was clay and making it into something quite often beautiful by hand. This is just, someone might think this is quite beautiful, especially if this has their favorite coffee or something inside. Then or, some beautiful herbal medicine or something like that. So this is all coming from our intentions, from our hearts, from our minds that in the world, what we create, how we create things, what we create, what we do through body and speech, all starts with the mind. So purifying the mind and seeing things clearly and knowing really clearly what is of benefit and what is harmful. And then we'll make wise choices. And what brings real happiness in the world. So we're trying to be on the force of kindness and happiness and benefit to not only ourselves, but to other human beings and to other forms of life in the world. So that's part of why we're gathering today. One aspect of why we're gathering is to bring a force, help gather this force of goodness, our good intentions, our good hearts, and how to bring it pure, even purify it further within ourselves, and then being able to offer that to the world. So we want to be part of that movement.
Sadhu.
So I think I just wanted to keep it brief because we're going to do some visioning now. But I just wanted to bring that heart of Dhamma forward, and this is all kind of distilled from the Buddha's teachings. Non-harming and purification of the mind is really the basis. There's like maybe that resin that's coming up from the ground. There's heard of some medicine it's
Shilajit.
Shilajit.
Shilajit. We were joking that it sounds like Sila, Sheila in Sanskrit.
So yeah, so it's distilling up out of the ground. This is really concentrated and probably pure minerals to a certain. So this is where the purity of our heart and how we can really offer something good in the world. Anyway, I was just trying.
Yeah, I love that our visioning is on the foundation of Sila. It's on the foundation of this shared commitment to the ethics. So, yeah.
So did you want to start with the
Should-
visioning? We're
Sure.
gonna Nyanika has started document share. And I'm wondering if the camera can come on this one, and that way I don't have to keep sliding. If you don't mind being
Oh.
on camera.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah. So if you turn the camera on so that the three of you are showing, would that be okay for you?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so then you can position it so I can see you.
All right.
Oh, if you want it closer, you can just put it whatever position you like.
Yeah. Or you can. That looks reasonable. Something like that.
Okay,
Okay.
so
And do you want to start out, Aya, with the visioning, what we've done, or do you want me to show the website document? Where would you like us to start? These were kind of questions you and I were throwing around this morning and putting up here on the shared whiteboard, which you can see on the screen there. We've got 3 screens going at the Viharas. This is kind of our highest tech ever. Um, so these were questions that came up. It's just starting at the real basics. Why do we want a monastery? Why do we want to sustain what we're doing? So we can kind of open this circle up and vision further from here. Do people need a little background on kind of the next steps that we've been talking about here? Or have you seen the web page or the
Hello.
newsletter? Oh, hello. Fernando.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, so we're starting our visioning. We just had the Sila people taking the 5 precepts, and we're starting to talk about our vision for the future
Of Pasadi Vihara.
of Pasadi Vihara. And so,
I guess my question was, have people seen either in our newsletters or on the website, kind of this sense of, we'd like to expand beyond a 2-bedroom apartment and,
well,
Uh,
maybe we should just verbalize it at
yeah,
least.
would you?
I think you have maybe collected in your mind a little bit.
Okay,
Uh,
and then please add to it or
okay,
correct anything.
yeah, because you already started. Yeah.
Sure. So we were evaluating and we met with the board in November or end of October,
Something like end of
end of
October.
October,
Yeah,
to say we've had visiting monastics. It's been wonderful to have them. Alex hosts them next door, or we put a screen up here in the living room. Occasionally someone will come and meditate with us on a Thursday night or something, but this is an apartment, a kitchen, living space, 2 bedrooms. And we'd love to have a space where lay people can come and sit in the meditation hall, where we can do programs, where other monastics can join us. We can eventually grow the number of monastics that are here. And to do that, we thought about like renting a bigger place, but rent just keeps going up. And it looks like the market is fairly reasonable for purchasing right now. So we're kind of floating the idea of purchasing kind of a starter property that has a place to put a meditation hall, maybe convert a garage or a workshop. Enough land, when we say this, the like a half acre,
well, a third
or
to a half.
a third, a half, a whole, whatever purchasing power we would have and what's available, that has some flat space that we could put kutis on. And maybe the kutis run wheels, so if that wasn't our final property, the kutis could go on to the next. But someplace where people can gather, a community can grow, and that it would also support the seclusion practice for the monastics. So like this winter retreat, each one of us will take turns in our bedrooms doing our secluded practice while the other one is continuing the programs out here. And we'd like to make it possible to have like a kuti or something that made it possible to support more seclusion for the monastic who's in silent retreat. So these are kind of the basic goals that did I leave any of our main goals out?
Yeah, just the emphasis on having a place to gather, like a meditation hall, and also having some separation for times for seclusion for the monastics. I think this is the moving forward idea, so that we could be building community, but also doing what we should be doing as monastics, which is that intensive purification of the mind.
Mhm.
And so so we're just putting this idea out. But we'd also like to know from others what they would hope to see, what they.
So that idea of a public space where people could come.
Yeah,
Like a yoga, like Pacific Heritage does a yoga studio and people come every week, or
that
Clear
that
Mountain does the.
that is a
church every-
totally great option for us, offering programs out into the community.
Right,
But it doesn't address if people want to come and attend puja with us.
right,
or-
for sure.
Yeah, so it's like, in the meantime, and maybe in addition to, we
Right.
can make connections with
Right,
centers around the area. Like we go down to Portland a couple times a year.
right. Yeah.
And we definitely could do it weekly or so, if there's a place here in Olympia. So
Your
maybe,
evening puja is open to the public now.
It isn't, only on Thursday,
Oh, okay, good.
Only-
Okay.
only on Thursday when we have the Zoom hybrid program,
Oh, okay, I see.
so.
Yeah, it's an evening time, and just for privacy, it'd be nice to have private residents as well as a public place.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like to have, I just open up to the public, anyone to coming in the evening to
Right, into our actual.
our
living room
residents.
attached to our bedroom, kind of sketchy. So that's why if the meditation hall were the workshop or garage or something on a property,
Right,
it could be open for lay people to come in,
right.
and the monastic who's in their bedroom meditating doesn't have that thought is there somebody in the house with me? Does that fit my Vinaya? What? That's the kind of consideration.
Yeah.
I think also in the meantime, I like the idea of starting with the venue. It's kind of like an intermediate,
Definitely.
Yeah. Get the word out.
yeah, just so we get local
That's
interest. This is kind of like how do we start making those physical connections with people? I mean, like,
I
Eh,
want
and-
to sound check. Fernando and Coda, are you able to hear when the people in the room are talking? And Padma was here earlier. Is it still, are you picking up their voices, or do we need, okay, I'm getting a head nod from Padma. Okay.
I can hear.
All right. Yeah, okay, thumbs up. And let me look at the chat, so, yeah. Fernando says that can only hear the two of us, so thank you for letting us know, so. But either way, I have to help. Oh, okay, so, okay, all
So
right, fantastic.
another thing is that if when people in the room were talking, maybe we could turn this volume off and that volume
Mhm.
on.
Yeah, that's a great
So would you
idea.
can one of you be willing to do that? Turn on the volume when you're talking?
Okay, so what I'm thinking is so that we can include the three people that are in the room with us and the three people who are on the Zoom with us, is that we like do a circle kind of way. I can read off these kind of questions. These are just seed questions. And just each person can speak and we can circle around until we've kind of it's just kind of creating a circle space to communicate, ask questions, clarify values, intentions, vision development. So kind of the seed questions we had, why do we want a monastery? Why do we want to sustain what we're doing as Pasari Vihara? And we've done some talk about community outreach. Some ideas this morning came up in like connecting with a local park or local centers that have space, put up some flyers. And then underlying question of like what the visioning, what Pasari Vihara is becoming is what do people need and what can the monastics offer to the community? And then also, underlying that sense of we're a monastery supporting monastics to develop. So in this discussion, that's kind of the underlying thing of we know we need to support the monastics, but how do we grow the community? Moving forward, how do we reach out to people, find local local interest, and then discuss ways to increase the interest and develop the vision. And so I'll take some notes and we'll go, I think maybe we'd said to 12:45, but it maybe give it a whole half hour till 1. Is that? And then we
Okay.
can do some breakout groups in some of the either technical or communication or other. I'll for those online, I'll show activities that we had talked about earlier are on another tab in the whiteboard, and I think you can each access the whiteboard individually. I'm not positive about that, so you can see the different things we've already been discussing. But right now we're on the visioning and just a shared space of conversation. So how do we do like a talking stick
Um,
virtual and
I think, yeah, this computer could go on when we're doing maybe this group of three here one at a time.
So
And then people can raise their virtual hand. And this is on we're live and being recorded. So I just wanted to warn people if they're not wishing to have what they're sharing, we could either just turn.
we can pause the recording. So just at the beginning of you put in the chat or in the room, you can say, please pause the recording. I don't want this for posterity. And we're totally happy to support that if that's how you'd like to participate today. Okay, excellent. And Padma says, yes, they can access the worksheets, the whiteboards.
Okay,
So
great.
should we try the experiment with us turning the volume off here?
Okay,
and
so
you turning it on over there?
yeah, I'll just turn off.
And would one of the
Especially as it turned in your direction, you speak loud enough, it should be okay. But let us, oh.
We answering the question.
Please let us know if you can't hear the other people.
And we're just answering these questions.
Or whatever, those are just questions to seed the conversation for building the vision for Basadi Vihara and how to get that out, moving forward.
Hi, I can go first. Really lovely to be here with all of you. Thank you, Ayas, for opening up the Vihara to us today to do this community endeavor. Yeah, these are wonderful questions that I feel like I could spend a lot more time with to really formulate an action plan. What comes to the forefront of my mind is just the necessity of community outreach. I think that humans work like little like we work as a single candle that then it grows brighter and brighter the more we share that flame with the other candles so they can become illuminated too. And I think that that will look like what we've discussed earlier of the making flyers, the spreading the word to our personal communities and friends, the Aya's finding a venue to host in-person sessions and to do the necessary advertising for that, whether it be on like Eventbrite or Facebook or just flyers around. Connecting with community leaders. What comes to my mind is there is a yoga studio I'm closely connected with called True Self Yoga. The owner, his name is Vajra. He is steeped in Buddhist practices. I feel like he would be an amazing resource for potential community collaboration. So that's one of the many, many people, just one small example of potential community hubs that we could reach out to and to really inspire this sort of collective conversation to start, regular weekly sits, day-long retreats, and just getting more support for the Vihara. So people are doing the meal offerings and people are able to engage with these practices. And yeah, I think one thing too is the Evergreen State College could be a great resource. There are a lot of, I know I took East-West psychology there. There are a lot of young people who are really curious about these things and interested in these practices and just don't know that this resource is here. So finding a way to collaborate with the school, wellness centers, community hubs, I think will be wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I can go next. Hello, everybody. I'm Amber. It's nice to be here with you all. Thank you, Ayaz, for the invitation to provide perspective about the vision for a monastery here. I will say that I think, having a monastery here in the area would be a tremendous opportunity and resource for people who are interested in developing like a deeper understanding of the world and meditation practice. And I think having that space, something that was, more functional for you both, would allow you to, to have the privacy and space that you need, as well as, developing more opportunities for practice and connection. And I personally, in my kind of busy life, I'm usually able to carve out like maybe a week at a time or something to have like a, retreat or silent meditation. And I know it would be so helpful for me to be able to have a, a local place to go where I could, do that more readily within my resources and means. So that would be really helpful. Yeah, and I'm just gonna look at these questions again. If that's okay, if I can. If I can scroll up. So yeah, I think yeah, I think, the community outreach piece that has been brought up is so foundational to this. And the question of, what, I feel like that really touches on how we do that, but why do we want to sustain what we're doing? I think there's just, there's a whole ecosystem of beings here and people and communities, and tribal communities as well. And, these are dark times, in my opinion. There's a lot of change and transformation in the world. And so it feels really important to support moments like this where we can have, good ways to connect and, support each other. Yeah. So that's all I would want to say. Yeah. Thank you.
Did you want to share anything? Sue?
I can share that. Thanks for having us, Ayaz. Yeah, I think having practicing with others is really it's a gift really to be able to have people to practice with. And finding some, I don't live near here, so it would never be me, but it's like an hour and a half drive to come to practice. That's probably not happening, but I know when it isn't. I know when I move around a lot, being a nomad and all, but when I arrive somewhere, I always look if there's any sitting groups available so I can go sit with others. So I think if I'm interested in sitting with others, there's other people that also find benefit in not sitting just by themselves. I mean, I have my own sitting practice, but I find it quite nourishing to sit with others. And yeah, not really just being able to sit with other people, I think is, I don't want to go over and over it, but I think that's really valuable, and an offering of that, because it's actually quite not that easy to find. There's a lot of people who teach meditation, but really like a group that you can sit with would be quite nice if you found a way to places that would support you just holding space for people to sit. I don't know the area. These two ladies like live here, so they probably have better, like, and maybe other people who are listening to this would know of like places that might want to have a person hold a space for sitting. I think that would be an incredibly beautiful offering to the community if that could happen. Yeah, whatever I can do to like help that out, even though I don't live here, that would be, I'd be happy to do that.
Did you turn the?
Do you want to say something?
Well, I don't mind.
Yeah, I
Going next
wanted
if-
to respond a little bit to what Cynthia was saying, and hopefully, if we had a place it'd be, I mean, worthwhile for you to come for like a block of time, or not just like a 1 hour sit or something like that, that we would have a day long or a afternoon program or something, and probably, and then the thing, we're asking people to help shape what's needed, like if somebody is coming from Tacoma, that they would come and they offer a meal and stay for the whole rest of the, day or something, meditating or something, like how can we shape it so it's, beneficial for, not just the monastics living here, but, for the community. So, yeah, and just people sitting together, even if there isn't a teaching. I remember that my early days of Zen practice, that there'd just be this hall and people would come and we would meditate together. And there was somebody there that I would see every morning. I was still fairly young, and another young man. And I remember seeing him and I thought, oh, there's my friend. And then I realized I didn't even know his name. He just came, we were just sitting together. So there's just, and I don't particularly want to endorse that people wouldn't know each other's names or something like that. But the fact that you spend that time together in silence, there's some kind of
Oh,
connection that
definitely.
happens, even if you don't know each other's name. It would be nice if people were supportive of one another and knew one another. But even if it's just the case where somebody just wants to come silently and meditate and not have, like a social interaction, that would be wonderful too. Anywhere along that kind of scale of how people interact with people. So yeah, thank you for bringing everyone in the room. Is there anyone on?
Oh, I want to make one.
Oh, you want to
comment,
make
and
a
then I'm-
comment?
and
Yes,
then I
please.
want to open it to
Please.
Padma and then Coda.
Okay,
Unless anyone has to go quickly, then we'll reverse order.
okay.
Just come together or for space to, okay. Yes, so we talked about like having space for people to come. I also want to iterate that the vision also includes those that are further out. And so like improving our tech, improve, I have a hard time typing in, speaking the same, tech improvement for hybrid programs. I think is really valuable to, like, we got some feedback this morning that not aware that it was not easy to go from the website to find out where are the recorded programs that we've done in the past that are housed on YouTube. It's not intuitive. So tech improvement for hybrid programs to include the wider area. And then also like the vision is that the website and other and social media, those types of things, that they would be intuitive and easy for people to like join in and know there is welcome in the community and see how they could come in and participate.
Also networking, like someone being close enough to feel motivated to come if they could carpool.
Oh, yeah.
So that kind of,
Carpools.
yeah, things
yay.
like that were so that we could include more people in person that wouldn't necessarily come just by themselves.
Mhm.
So somehow making a network. So we have a hand here. Are you,
Is there a hand up or wait, what do you say? Oh, in the room. Yay! I'm looking online. Thank you.
I saw your hand online and then I turned.
You're like, there's a hand somewhere.
okay, just put a virtual hand up and you'll be the next one if you want to speak next. And I'm
Otherwise, I'll just call on Padma and
Yeah.
Dakota, but please, if you
Yeah.
have something sooner, pop in.
So I'm letting Raquel speak right now.
Just as a quick little inspiration on what y'all said that I realized I forgot to mention, but this notion of improving the tech for the wider community, making a WhatsApp group will be really beneficial, I think. So that's kind of what Clear Mountain has, just that online platform where people can drop in, hey, I'm in Tacoma. Is anyone driving today? Can I get a ride? I think will be beneficial. And a WhatsApp is very easy to make if you all have like a contact list of people's phone numbers or even emails. You could reach out and get phone numbers, and yeah, so we could definitely start that too.
Right. Padma, you were here in the morning, so you got some of the background, what we were talking about then, and then also the opening it up for the visioning here.
It looks like there's.
Is that okay, Coda? You wanted to speak earlier. If you want to go
Do you have your
first, I'm
sound up?
okay.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you so much. I feel very grateful. Thank you. And I think, as I mentioned earlier in the morning, it comes to me more and more. I think what we can accomplish as a community, as opposed to individuals, and especially I think that kind of a emphasis in these times, I think is to see that is important, because I think living like islands becomes a habit, and we can actually accomplish quite a bit being an island, but I think there's so much more value in the community. I tend to be a dreamer, so I really appreciate the visioning, the difference between dreaming and visioning. Because I think up in the clouds is all very great. There was a time I bought a lottery ticket because I was going to bail out a hospital. It didn't happen, but that's the kind of impossible dreams that I dream. When you are talking, suddenly I wanted to think about what can be grounding. And what comes to me is this place that is somewhere between here and somewhere between you and Portland. There is a place. There are two people who bought a space in land and started a very strange combination of a Buddhist temple and a Druid temple together. And it's also a bed and breakfast. And that whole idea, I think, to start here, everything has to start somewhere very small in a 2-bedroom apartment to grow into something. The added thing here is, this Theravada tradition does not allow that, hybrid way of living. And I appreciate that, the strictness with which you follow what you have to follow. And to create that space as a community, how does that come about? I'm just going to admit this. I don't know how this will happen. In September, when I first met, I was in Cloud Mountain and I met Ayani Annika and Mark Nunberg. That time, that short amount of time in the 5 days, I was just so inspired. Suddenly I came home and I said to my husband, listen, I had no clue all this was happening right next door to us. We need to move to Olympia. I don't know how I'm going to get a job there. I don't know how we're going to do this. And as I said, that dreaming apart to actually vision something like that and then make that happen. I have communities that I know, the Hindu communities, the ISKCON communities do this whole fundraising and open a temple for a monastic people to live there upstairs, and the temple is downstairs. It's the same concept in this what is that monastery? I can't remember the name of the monastery. They have a temple, they have little kutis, and they have a main bed and breakfast building. So I think something is, I don't know how the fundraising happens, I don't know anything, but I think to look at something like that, to envision something like that, feels so hopeful because now I'm part of this online common ground thing and I hear so much. I've never heard of common ground before, but common ground is a place like that where all the people suddenly it just so happen over and over again they meet somebody who's a builder, they meet somebody who has absolute technical skills that just up and left their job and came into the space. So there is so much that we can envision. It is all starting at the beginning here, and I want to see it like that with a lot of hope, and I think we can go from there. Practically, what I want to offer is I do not know at all, and I'm going to try to find people who will help me. I want to offer to make the flyers. I will have the material written out and make, once you both approve of what is going on that flyer, just walk around Olympia and in like-minded places. It could be a acupuncture office, it could be this, that. If you put it there, somebody who is in need, somebody who is suffering, it may be the right moment in their life when they see this and say, oh, I need to explore this. I want to see this. And, that is what I envision for the future of the monastery.
Thank you. Yeah, so maybe you could team up with somebody locally too, as far as distributing the flyers and where they could go, because
Or Cynthia and Padma can carpool and we can have a fun outing.
Yes.
That could be a lot of fun.
something,
Yeah.
so so this is the idea, is that we'll pool our resources. You're not alone
Mhm.
in your, what you
In the
would like to
creation.
offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the note of like the, having places for lay people, when we've talked out like the long-term vision, it's like, the monastery is big enough to have these zones, like the seclusion zone, the meditation zone, the lay visitors zone. We were in a community that the long-term vision was that on one side of the creek was the monastery, on the other side was the Dhamma village. And even here in this apartment complex, we posted online that the apartment next to us was available, and Alex from across the country ended up moving into the apartment. And so, and there are other people who'd said they'd like to move to Olympia as well, and are looking at kind of what the rental or purchase scene looks like. So I do think that whether it's just within Olympia or it extends throughout the Pacific Northwest, we can create this network of, and Padma connecting in with Common Ground, that's where I started out. And in the, kind of the world of Theravada. And yeah, we created a retreat center. And then just individuals got together and rented houses to create Dhamma houses. So long term, it's like we can really create community that everything from the introvert who still enjoys being in a space meditating with people to the one who wants to create social outings for going out hiking together. I Sivijana got to go hiking with a couple people a day or two ago. That these things just occur.
Mhm.
So long-term vision can include those things.
Okay.
Coda sorry.
So maybe Coda, if Coda has something to share, but I put family down.
Family. Okay,
Okay, because I want to talk about that.
okay. Coda.
Hi, Ayaz, can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you for opening this space for us. Similar to what's already been talked about, I think when I thought about joining in today and what I might have, if anything, to offer, I thought about a couple of ideas about community outreach. And some that seem to come to my mind are meditation, offering meditation classes at wherever the local senior center is. I'm
Ooh.
not in Olympia, but I know I'm familiar with the Kent and the Auburn Senior Center. I don't actively participate, but I have a few close friends that actively participate at the senior center. And one of the offerings that they both have are, well, at least one of them for sure, is that they have mindfulness meditation classes. And it seems, at least in one of the sessions, that it's pretty darn full. And it felt to him that it was something that the other groups really enjoyed too. They have at least one of the senior centers, both of them actually, have grief groups, and it kind of lends itself to holding grief to be able to practice mindfulness meditation. So one of my ideas was, if we hadn't thought about, at least for the Olympia Vihara, Pasadi Vihara, if we hadn't thought about teaming up with the local senior center, maybe offering that, it's a way to engage with the community. And I think it really helps get the word out.
Yeah.
The other one that I thought about for Olympia was it's the state capital. And it feels as though I don't get down there to the legislation to watch legislation, but I know of a couple of people that do, that get down there often to watch legislation and be a part of and talk with the folks there in the Capitol building. And it feels like the environment is one that they would allow for nuns to appear and offer mindfulness meditation there as well, or at least maybe lead a meditation before the opening session for legislation. That feels as though it's a possibility. I don't know, but it just seems like that would be a possibility.
As long-
In the
Make a political stance.
Yeah, which we don't do anyway as monastics.
We can't,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm,
we
I
could,
see.
if we were invited, that's another thing. We would need an
Yeah.
invitation.
Yeah.
But
These are brilliant,
Brilliant.
not yet said ideas in the senior center. But both the Capitol and the senior center are walking distance from the bus stop downtown.
yeah.
Oh.
And I see the senior center all the time when we're downtown.
Yep.
And it didn't occur to me to offer something there. So that's a possibility, is a place if they have they may already have some kind of mindfulness. Because mindfulness, just the word mindfulness, the thing is that we would have to be yeah,
Well, Dream A is a member of the senior center.
Dream A is.
Yeah.
Oh, so we could talk to Dream A.
Yeah, Dream A is a former monastic
Oh, okay.
from the
So-
Tibetan tradition
Oh,
who
okay.
actually saw us on one of our first almost round and lives in
Oh,
what's
okay.
that? Tumwater.
Okay, so that would
Mm.
be a way to, well, I'm a senior too, but yeah, just how we navigate that, because we can't proselytize, and we can't I don't know if they pay people to lead classes.
A lot of time it's
Oh, it's all
volunteers.
volunteer, so we
You'll
could
get in.
volunteer, volunteer, but we just wouldn't be talking about Buddhism, we'd just be talking about
Well,
meditation, or
I
do they
mean,
have religious groups there? We'd have to be either,
we'd find out.
yeah, so we could talk to, we do have somebody who's already a
A member,
member.
yeah.
Okay, so those are great ideas, that we can look into them.
I love
I
it.
think the other idea I had was I wondered if there was a cultural center like a Thai cultural center or Vietnamese cultural center or any of those types of cultural centers that might be around that would like to have a guest speaker once in a while.
Brookell is what, here, let me turn this one off.
Let's turn this off.
In the last 2 or so years, there has been a cultural center that has cropped up in Tumwater. The OSHA,
Yeah.
OSHA.
Yeah, they have a cafe there that
Mm.
I think there's a day a week that they actually serve free food
To the houseless
to the
community.
houseless community. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really lovely cultural center.
Yeah, and I've been to things around like the African American culture
Mhm.
or like the Palestine movement and things like that. So I could imagine that they would be open. Didn't even think about.
Yeah, because I thought the closest ones were Tacoma, so, all right. So
They do
let's turn
offer
your-
venues
What
as well
great
for
suggestions.
events
That's
there.
great,
It's
yeah.
a big enough center. Yeah.
Okay.
There is also a Thai of Wat, but we're still kind of trying to navigate so that we can have an independent program there instead of one that was already established and doesn't really fit in with what we're doing. So, but those are good suggestions.
Did you have more Coda, or should I turn it to Ayasubijana to say something about family?
May I quickly
Okay.
bring up one more
Yeah, I
thing?
think what Coda was saying about seniors kind of dovetails into it. But the idea of family, and I know a couple of parents with small children, and somehow I'd like to be able to make it possible for people with their families to participate instead of like this really beautiful meditation hall and people coming and being silent and all this kind of thing. And that's certainly a essential aspect of this, but those who have small children get kind of left out. It makes it really difficult for them
Yeah.
unless they, that the children have to stay home with one of the parents or they have to get a babysitter, and then it's a disconnect with the family rather than an integrated thing.
Mhm.
So somehow in the vision, I'd like to include, like somehow, families could come more often instead of just like a Wesak celebration or something like that once a year or something like that, where I think this is a thing in a Buddhist culture where it's just taken for granted that the whole family comes. So there'd be time for quiet seclusion, very dedicated silent practice, and then there'd be times that could be more integrated with the rest of people's lives. So
Can you say a little more about what that would look like when we're out in community chatting about this? Like, what would it look like for someone to be able to bring their kid and come? Would it be like, oh, there's childcare provided, or oh, it's just a safe, inclusive space?
I think
We
something
can't do the childcare at this point because of the way insurance works.
because
So,
of liability.
The liability insurance right now, we're trying to get liability insurance, and there's a whole bunch of questions around. So right now, we only can do things where the parents or a noted guardian is with the children. So that's our current situation.
And that may be that we do things where it's something where it's family oriented, where everybody's together. This is just a dream for the future when we're visioning. But I also think about if we had a parents group and then
Mhm.
some people would be meditating and then some would be with the kids, and it would be and then everybody comes together. something like that, we would have a day where, but this takes to be, have a large enough place, enough spaces. But this is like my ideal vision of how it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I know I suggested this for Charlotte Buddhist Vihara, and they did to have a mother's group. And then one lady brought her baby, and there was a lady who was a mother, and that she was had a grown children.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other people had but somehow there was a number of people, and there was a baby, and the woman who would be more grandmotherly took the baby
So then the
from
mom,
the mother and was holding the baby while everybody was meditating and keeping it was like, I saw a picture of it, was so beautiful. So somehow the children would be taken care of, and the parents, especially the one who's the primary caregiver, if it's the mom or sometimes it's the dad these days, the mother has a profession that maybe is more lucrative, or the dad has something he can do. Like my brother could do a lot of his work in the home, so he was ending up doing more of the cooking and putting the kids to bed and all this kind of stuff. And so that so that the primary caregiver could have the space to meditate, but there would be a space where the children could be on the property, and then everybody gets together. It could be
Yeah.
everybody gets together you could have a meditation and then the meal, and everybody gets together, and then there's maybe
we'll go to Padma in a minute, but noting, like, Raquel, were you at the almsgiving last year at the church?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so during that time, Maya Suvajana, Mudita and Andrew had made this wonderful cardboard cutout elephant, and then Aya Suvajana told the metta story of the Buddha subduing the elephant.
Nalagiri the elephant, and how he trained and tamed a wild elephant.
Yep.
This elephant was tamed. This elephant was trained to kill, actually, in the time of the Buddha. They trained elephants to be in warfare.
And we had a picture of Ajahn Nisabo and Ajahn Kovlo deciding to get down so that they could see the pictures on the screen. So you have them sitting there like with the little kids looking at so it's inclusive.
So it's
from monastics to youngsters. Shall we open for Padma?
Yeah, go ahead, Padma, please.
So
Somehow
in
teenagers too,
the
if they
Indian
wanna come.
communities,
Oh yeah, I'll add.
Of course, the teenagers are welcome.
If they want to come, only if they want to come.
Go ahead, Padma.
so in the Indian communities, whether it is the temple or all
I
these
think maybe our
alternative
sound-
groups.
Oh, sorry, we weren't able. We had our sound off.
That's okay.
so-
So I was saying in the Indian communities, whether it is the temple or all these, the ISKCON, and then there are these Sai Baba communities, all those people have this thing called the Balavikas. So kids also come, and I'm sure in the churches it is like that too. The Sunday school concept is like that. That the kids would come and there would be a assigned adult each week who will entertain them in one way or the other. I love that Koda brings up the Jataka tales. Somebody actually, reading something to them or just engaging them for that 1 hour of the absolute silent meditation that's happening upstairs, or, that is, I can actually immediately see that. And I think that is that could be the longer vision of that separate area for the kids for that time. After that, they could be running around and participating in the meal and all of that, just to bring joy to all the age groups. The other point that I wanted to make was for the website to kind of make that a easily navigatable, I don't know if that is a word, space to, what if we actually, as community, as us, paying somebody to take on that task rather than looking for a volunteer person to come in to do that work, just because it is such an important platform where the person who sees the flyer out there will automatically go into the way things are these days. They will go to the website first to find this or that and click on this, click on that. So maybe to make that an easy part, to just have somebody, officially do that, that's something we can just float around and talk about how that happens.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I do remember back at Aloka Vihara, there was a time period where somebody was paid to like clean it up, get it ready, and make it really easy to update. So then a volunteer could do the updating, but it was super easy for them to do it. It wasn't like what Coda and I have been doing, and Landon and I from of like trying to navigate this whole back end, just kind of walking through it. And without people like Coda and Landon, we wouldn't even be as far as we are, but their time is precious, and yes, a shout out to Coda. Thank you so much for your support there.
I think,
Oh, and
Raquel might be leaving.
yeah, Brookel has clients to go to, so thank you so much
Yeah, thank
for
you.
participating.
There's, on top of the refrigerator, I think there's a couple of your things. Whoopsie. Oh, sorry.
Good catch. Good reflexes.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Oh, my kitty cats have trained me very well. Yeah.
And do we want to continue in this conversation or go into some breakout groups again to work on specific
Maybe,
areas or tasks or?
so we're gonna go off the recording now, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, now we'll move. So just for the recording, anyone who's seen and watched this and wants to add to or support these ideas, please contact us and let's build a community.
Yes. So, so we're stopping live
Live
stream.
stream.